Hello there, good morning and welcome. This is iBrand Daybreak coming to you live from the Lagos City right here in Nigeria. Yes, it's yet another Thursday morning on the show today. My name is Jidechi Chideze and I can say it's one of those men's days. Yes, we bring you men's day on the show again. Yes, joining me on the show this morning is none other than Michael.
Michael not here. There are different days for different things. Time to play, time to work. Yesterday and day before yesterday, it was holidays for everybody. Now we're back to work. And we're right here to put you in the right mood for business on the show. We've got the news update, a paper review, topic for discussion for today. We also got a social media buzz. And we're going to bring up the rear with the quote of the day.
Exactly.
We kick off now, right away, with the news update. Two of the abducted students of Bethel Baptist Secondary School in Ichikun local government area of Kaduna State were rescued on Wednesday evening by police operatives in Rijana area along the Kaduna-Abuja highway. When contacted, the spokesman of the Kaduna State Police Command, Muhammad Jalige, told newsmen that the two abducted students have been taken to a police medical facility where they are currently undergoing medical examination. 121 students of Bethel Baptist Secondary School in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State were abducted from their hostels by bandits on July the 8th. Now, last week, the police rescued one of the students inside a forest, while two were rescued. That's yesterday, thereby bringing the number of those rescued to 3. Meanwhile, the bandits are demanding the sum of 60 million naira as a ransom for the release of the kidnapped students.
Now moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has confirmed the termination of the appointment of the embattled Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Bala Usman. Buhari disclosed this on July the 12th in an affidavit filed at the Federal High Court in Lagos. The affidavit was filed as Buhari's preliminary objection to the suit was signed by Agan Tabita of the Civil Litigation Department of the Federal Ministry of Justice, Abuja, on behalf of Buhari's counsel. Buhari argued that the alleged reappointment of the third defendant, Hadiza Bala Usman, upon which this court is being called upon to adjudicate, has been terminated by the first defendant, Buhari, and an instant suit overtaken by the event of that termination. He also argued that the plaintiffs lack the local standing to bring the case, and the Federal High Court has no jurisdiction to hear this matter. Consequently, Buhari urged the court to dismiss the suit as it had become purely academic.
From Nigeria, straight to South Africa, where South Africa's former President Jacob Zuma, in jail for contempt of court, has been granted compassionate leave for 1 day to attend the funeral of his younger brother on Thursday, prison authorities said. Zuma has been incarcerated at Escourt prison since handing himself over to authorities on July the 7th to serve a 15-month sentence. At a short time, low-risk classified inmate, Zuma's application for compassionate leave was processed and approved, the Department of Correctional Services said in a statement, adding that while outside prison walls, Zuma was not required to wear an offender's uniform. Zuma, 79, was sentenced late last month for defying a constitutional court order to give evidence at an inquiry investigating high-level corruption during his 9 years in office until 2018.
Now, on the foreign scene, China on Thursday rejected the World Health Organization's plan for a second phase of an investigation into the origin of the coronavirus. The WHO this month proposed a second phase of studies into the origins of the coronavirus in China, including audits of laboratories in markets in the city of Wuhan, calling for transparency from authorities. In his statement, they said, "We will not accept such an origins tracing plan as it is in some aspects disregarding common sense and that defies science." End of quote. This from Zheng Jin, the Vice Minister of the National Health Commission told reporters. Now, Zeng said that he was taken aback when he first read that the WHO's plan was because it lists the hypothesis that the Chinese violation of laboratory protocols had caused the virus to leak during research. Michael, that's what we'll call it a wrap on the news update.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And we're going to take a break now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We delve straight
into it, actually. We delve straight into the newspaper review. Now, moving on to the newspaper review, lots and lots of things on the front burner this morning. And we'll take a look at that quickly. Why not we start off with the Nation from here?
Okay.
Look at what's on the front pages of the Nation this morning. The major headline on the Nation this morning is about COVID-19. Yes, COVID-19 infection rose by 77% in 1 week. Now, the writer of this one says recovery rate drops by 87%, and CDC warns on a deadly Delta variant. That's the major one on the Nation this morning. When you move down the Nation, you see this one that is saying, "Don't destroy Nigeria's image." Presidency cautions, "Don't destroy Nigeria's image." This one is coming from the presidency, and the writer of this one is Dambazu Slams Kuka. That's about that one. If you want to find out more, then get the Nation this morning. At the top of the paper, you see 2 million young Nigerians to get UNICEF job training. Quite an interesting one right there. And yet there's another one about residents protest over abandoned 22 billion naira Akure Ado Road project. Those are the major ones on the Nation this morning.
We got the Guardian next. Diplomatic statement in Benin over Igboho's detention, extradition. Nigeria has lost its soul, Catholic bishops tell Buhari. Herders kill 3-month-old baby, 12 others in Otom's local government. Taraba Emir gives herdsmen 30-day ultimatum to vacate. And 13 die, 12 injured in Lagos-Ibadan Expressway crash. That's about it.
Okay.
On the Guardian.
Now we move on to the Punch and look at what the Punch is saying. The main one is still about Igboho, and this one says Benin rejects Igboho's hasty extradition. Lawyers write Germany to stop moves. The riders with this one, Benin insists on the repatriation hearing to determine whether Igboho is guilty or not. That's coming from his lawyer legal team to file additional complaints with German embassy today on Igboho's arrest. Protests rock Ibadan, Cotonou, London over activists' arrest. Police attack Oyo protesters. That's the one about Igboho on the Punch this morning. When you move to the top of the paper, there's one about FG implementing 7% tax waiver on aircraft and spares. This is coming from Oyema. More of this one you can find on page 21 of the paper. On page 20 of the paper, there's the one about despite aggressive revenue drive, FG suffers 1.4 trillion naira shortfall. That's about that one. There's another about Money Talk. Nigeria lost 53.26 billion naira to gas flaring in 2 months, says NNPC. And this one about sanctions. Sanction officers involved in $27.2 million external loan losses. This is coming from the Senate. Lots and lots of Money Talk on the Punch this morning. Michael?
Nigerian Tribune now. 2023, APC will soon pick consensus presidential candidate. This coming from the secretary. Editors caution NBC over persistent anti-media policies. 13 killed as 25 passengers bus rams into truck on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Still from the Tribune, organized public demonstration objecting to official policy is lawful. Against suspected herdsmen killed 13 in Benue. Oyo uncovers 41 ghost workers as 341 with irregular records opt for voluntary retirement. My jet shot at with explosives. Flight controls destroyed. Coming from the rescued pilot, says he had premonition of the attack, walked 30 kilometers with one leg injured. Catholic bishops condemn federal government for alleged selective justice. Emir gives nomadic herdsmen 30 days to leave emirate. And contrary to what you had in the last paper you read, that Benin Republic were resisting the extradition. Here I have it that Yoruba community in Cotonou actually did the resistance, to Igboho's extradition. And this is coming from the lawyer. And that rounds it off on the Nigerian Tribune.
Well, then you get to wonder, why exactly are they trying to extradite Igboho as soon as possible? What is the reason behind it?
If you remember the same thing, it was the same scenario with Nnamdi Kanu. Definitely, if anything is going to be done, it can't happen there. Is not from Benin Republic, is from Nigeria. Even if he's beyond the shores of Africa, the same extradition is going to happen. The judgment, whatever case is brought against him, is going to be tried right here in Nigeria. So I think that's what makes the extradition necessary. And by and by, I think that's what's going to happen. No matter what the international community, whatever their position is, it's not going to affect the eventual extradition of Igboho back to Nigeria.
And one of the writers with the Punch this morning says the lawyer of Igboho is asking, why is this man being arrested? He's not being labeled to be guilty of any crime, and it begs the question: why exactly is the federal government doing this? Because I mean, they've not said what Igboho did, aside the fact that he was clamoring for better security in Yoruba land, and you get to wonder what exactly is going on in the federal government.
Well, let's assume he didn't do any wrong. Then why was he trying to escape? Why was he running away from Nigeria?
That's another
I don't know if you get what I mean.
Yes.
Yes, a clear conscience fears no accusation.
Could it be a case of this government have shown themselves to be people that will clamp down on just anybody that will speak?
And you remember Igboho's case came up shortly after
Kanu.
It's like,
no, I think there's a little difference between Igboho's and Kanu's. Kanu's IPOB has been proscribed. Unlike what Igboho had with the Yoruba nation, called the agitation for the Yoruba nation, nothing, they've not proscribed that you can say, okay, this is a terrorist outfit. The federal government could fall back to the fact that they said they can say Kanu, according to them, is a terrorist, according to the federal government. But Igboho, there's nothing so far.
Well, what the federal government is against now is not necessarily the question of proscription. I think it is that fact that a section of the country is agitating for secession. And they believe that Igboho and his cohorts are championing this agitation. They believe that once they arrest him, put him down, the rest will come down.
And that's the thing. There is going to be more the rest, because I think if the country cannot be fixed, the reason why people like Kanu and Igboho came up is because we have a country, or guys, the country is in the state it is right now. I mean, if Nigeria was working, you wouldn't have had Kanu.
Of course.
You wouldn't have had an Igboho. So this is like do we call it a medicine after death? You didn't do the right thing, and you're trying to put down people who are speaking up. It makes no sense.
If you want to put an end to a tree, you don't cut it from the stem. You uproot it.
Exactly.
So that's exactly what the federal government is trying to do. Cut off the branches. Hello.
And you forget that
do you understand?
Cut off the tree, there are still
it's
more.
It's going to sprout up again, and continue to grow. So I think that's about it.
That's about it. Yes.
We're going to take a break here. When we come back, of course, we'll bring you the main topic for the day. You know what it is? I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. Just be part of it, and you're going to get everything we got in store for you today when we introduce the topic for discussion for today. And that comes up directly after this short break. Stay with us.
Most people don't understand the magic of the perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiviv Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiviv family.
Is Daybreak? Daybreak Thursday here on iBrandTV, Lagos. In traditional African society, it is believed that although two people can come together to bring forth a child, many people will partake in guarding and guiding the child to maturity. But due to civilization, communal form of living is going into extinction as people now distance themselves from their relatives and extended family members. Now, the usual practice of learning from the wise to become wise is now a thing of the past, as a youth delinquency is now on the increase in our society today. Therefore, in order to bring the youth back on the right track and to maintain peace in the society, mentoring remains one of the main effective tools. We got right here in the studio with us today, Mary Uzrunyi Agolo, a teenage mentor. Mary, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Morning.
It was Barka de Sala yesterday.
Yeah.
So
I think it's not wrong to be asking if there's any ram meat she came along with.
No, I didn't come along with, but I had my fair share of
Okay,
like
now I'm jealous.
I like that. I like that. No wonder the bright smiles on your face today.
No, I always have the smile. Forget whether there is salad or meat or nothing.
I like
Fish,
that one.
you
I
know.
like that one. Now, talking about mentorship, we've got teachers in the school. They teach, they guard. We have the parents. They also teach, they guard and guide. Who are the mentors?
Okay. Mentors are also supposed to play that same role that teachers and parents play.
So what makes
Human
theirs
life.
special? Okay, yeah.
Theirs are special because they are not parents, neither are they school teachers, but they are those who are like let me say angels who are to guide the child through life with their experiences. I mean, their own experiences, you know, teach the child what to expect, what not to expect, and how to undo mistakes in life and all that. I call the teenage stage of life the stage of transitioning. Now, the reason why I call it the stage of transitioning is because that's the stage where a child transitions from childhood to adulthood. And the way that stage of life is being handled in a child determines what kind of adult that child would grow to be. And that is why we have quite a number of youths today who are delinquents, just as you mentioned earlier in your introduction, you know, who have fallen short in so many areas of life, and they are struggling to pick themselves up again. So it depends on how the teenage life is being handled. It is not enough to just have the parents, the teachers in school. Of course, they have a lot on their hands already. Parents are doing their best, but we are in the age where parents now have their careers to also pursue, and then they are so busy, and they have more than one children. You know, they have more than one child. So you have like 3 or 4 children to cater for. You have your career, you have church engagements, you have responsibilities there and there. So now mentors come in to also play that role, like a semi-parent or a semi-teacher, now like an angel who is to see that child through that stage of transition into adulthood. Now we've come to realize that even at this stage, there are sometimes when these children, these teenagers actually trust their mentors better than their parents. I've worked in a school setting before as a school nurse and health instructor for about 6 years, and I've rode with teenagers, these young people in this stage of life, and that was when I started my mentoring teenagers initiative to guide teenagers on how to go through life. And I realized that a lot of these young people actually trusted me more than they trusted their parents. Why? Not because I was doing anything special that their parents couldn't do for them, but because they saw the mentor as someone they could talk to easily. They saw the mentor as someone who was always there for them, especially from the emotional and the psychological part. And this is what most parents of 21st century don't really have time for. And then coming from the angle where parents also react to things, you know, I experienced that when I was growing up to when you come home and you're telling your parents, or especially your mom, you know, oh, this is what happened. Before you even finish, before you land, she done already, you understand, you know, the way they react. So sometimes children are scared of the way their parents would react to some things when they come back home to share. And so they need that extra person who is going to stand in gap of a mentor who would always understand. Now when those teenagers come to my office then and they come, auntie, I want to see you. Okay, sit down, talk. And then they start sharing so many things. I have to wear an expressionless face, like, so, because they are watching your expressions. They are trying to see if
your
you're
body
going
language.
to judge them. They want to see if you're going to judge them. They want to see if you're going to chastise them or scold them or something, you know. Of course, they do things that you need to scold them for, you need to correct them, but at first make them relaxed, let them speak their mind, let them be able to bear everything on their mind, and then you start from the angle of, okay, this is what you should do, this is what you should have done, and this is where your mistakes lies. You see, it is only mentors, people who stand in the gap of mentors for teenagers, that can actually be able to do this correctly. And there is also something about the fact that young people sometimes prefer to roll better with people who are non-family. You know, yes, sometimes they prefer to bond with people who are non-family, and that is why you see children liking one auntie that comes from maybe a family friend or something that comes from outside. Oh, they get fond of people like that. Oh, uncle this, auntie that, you know. So that is what mentor is like to the child. So really, mentors play a very great role in the life of teenagers. If we have mentors who can be trusted. You know, we are in the era of abuse here and there and all that.
I was coming to that, but probably we're going to talk about it later.
Especially when we are looking at a mentor who is an opposite sex or even same sex, you know, abuse can happen from, it can occur from both angles, you know. So, but if we have people who are trusted, who can stand in the gap of mentors for young people, it will help us a great deal to shape the life of youth as a transition from the from the childhood stage of life to the adulthood. And then in the future, we can have better adults who think better, who act better, and who we can actually leave the future generation for.
Good one.
I was going to ask, so far in your career, have you had say schools reach out to mentors like yourself, they're asking, come on board, come be the one who these young people can talk to, because many times we see students, why, just like you say, they don't always feel comfortable talking to their parents. Many times they also don't feel comfortable talking to their teachers. So have you so far had, say, like schools or maybe churches reach out to mentors like yourself?
Yes, I've had schools, especially. I told you I was on school health service for like 6 years. So all those times I had programs I organized for students in various schools. I had this Teens Connect conference. That's a conference I organized for teenagers, and we take that to school. So we have schools who do contact us and tell us, okay, come bring this program to our school. So when we go to that school, after the program, some of them have to come see us. We talk, we connect, and then some of them get back home, tell their parents this happened in my school today, and then the parents get to call us and all that. So we actually have that. We don't have for churches yet, but schools, of course, we've actually had schools who have engaged us in that wise.
You are a teenage mentor. One wonders why you decided to focus on the teenagers. It's as if to say, pre-teenage age, we don't have much of violence or destruction or the mischief that's usually exhibited, by children or young people altogether. So why have you decided to focus on that stage of life,
Okay.
teenage?
Yes, I starting from my foundation, I am a registered nurse, so, and as a nurse, I'm dynamic. I can practice in various ways because that is the training I have. So from being a nurse, I worked in the school, and I think I've mentioned that earlier too. So from my experience as a teenager growing up myself, I realized that if I had had that extra person aside my parents who was there to always listen, who was there to run to like a go-to person, who was there to counsel me, who was there to guide me through, who was there to teach me, and all that, I would have made some better choices in life. That's my personal experience. So when I found myself in the school system as a school nurse health instructor, staying in the school environments with teenagers, but in a boarding school, having all these teenagers around me and all that, it stirred up that memory of when I was like them, that okay, if when I was like them, I had someone who could guide me through, I would have made some better choices. So why don't I also be like this for these children, for these teenagers, so that they can also grow up to make better choices in life and learn some key things that they wouldn't really have the opportunity to learn from their parents and teachers and all that. So that was how it started all for me. So then I started the initiative. I called it MTI, Mentoring Teenagers Initiative. So MTI just it was like a program thing I was just organizing among my students. Then call them together, pick up topics. We talk about career, we talk about their health, we talk about various things, psychological health and all that, and then relationships. In fact, that's even one of the topics that come up a lot. You see these teenagers,
That's
14,
when they want to
15,
talk about
yes,
the most.
and they are so clueless of who they can talk about things like this with, because they can't go home to tell their parents. Of course you scold them. You want to have boyfriend, like seriously, you almost want to cut her neck.
Well, not, you
understand?
don't generalize there.
No,
It's
no,
not all parents.
Not all parents,
Yeah.
you understand. Some parents do like that. So some parents react like that. So because they tend to keep to themselves a lot, because they don't have who they can confide in, who will give them the right counsel. And those who can keep to themselves, those who can keep to themselves, go ahead to talk to their fellow naive teenager, just as naive and ignorant as them, who would not give the little counsel that he or she knows in his or her small knowledge.
And world.
Exactly. So and then they keep making mistakes, which comes up over and over again like that and all that. So that was how I started it for them in my school. And I realized that, oh, I think I really have interest in this. It's just an area of interest for me. You know, it's not like I went to study anything that has to do with mentoring teenagers or something.
Okay.
You know, it's an area of interest for me, just as I have interest in quite a number of things. And once I come up with an idea like that, I love to run with it. Okay, for the fact that this thing is imprinting on my heart, it means that it needs action to back it up. So I always think of, okay, what can I do to actually bring these thoughts to light? And that's why I started it, and I just did. And I must really say that it's made a lot of impact, and it's still making a lot of impact. You know, I still have parents of my students then who still call me today, you know, when their child achieve a particular milestone. Oh, she just passed an exam. Oh, she just graduated. Oh, she just did. They'll always remember to call me. Some of them have not even met me before, but some of them, because their children get home to tell them a whole lot about the school nurse who did this, who said this, who guided her in this, who did, you understand? So it has really made a lot of impact, and that's the fulfillment for me, I must really say.
Now, which means there are people like you who also take care of the pre-teenage.
Of course,
Okay.
of course.
Okay.
Okay,
Of
so
course.
I was going to ask, talking about mentorship as an effective tool in grooming teenagers. What are the challenges you experience, like particularly teenagers that are more difficult to handle? How do you handle cases like this?
Of course, we have quite a number of them who are very difficult to handle. I believe I would have also been in that category while I was growing up, because I was pretty stubborn. So, yes.
It's written all over
Stubborn
you.
is the word I'm going to use.
So, you know, we have teenagers who are a bit very difficult to really handle. So what we just do is that we take patience with them, you know.
When
One
you talk
thing,
about patience, how long?
well, we can't put a time bound to it. We can't put a time bound to it, but it would take time for them to, teenagers who are difficult, would take time for them to build trust. Yes, it takes time for them to build trust. Once you are able to gain their trust, they will become very easy. In fact, their parents will be so surprised, like, see my child that does not even listen to anybody, so how come he or she listens to this person? You know, so it takes time for teenagers in that category to build trust. That is the problem, you know. So you just have to love, you have to understand, you have to keep making them know that you actually understand, you know, and never judge them. But not judging is one major thing I do a lot. And that's one thing I use to gain their trust. Now, that's an act, you know. I don't judge them. I don't judge them. Even counsel in general, I realized that I could actually counsel people, even adults, you know. When people come talk to me about whatever they are going through, I have this, I don't want to call it gift or talent or something, to just, okay, I can listen, and I might not tell you the solution, but I would be there to listen, and I would be able to actually understand whatever it is you're going through and make you calm down, and then, okay, it's going to be fine, and that's it, you know. So, but once a young person knows that you are that very judgmental person, whether you are so religious and you are ready to judge and you want to criticize or something, they would never be ready to talk to you, and they will act stubborn around you. Teenagers have this thing of trying to build a wall around themselves because they believe they have arrived, they have grown. You can't tell them what to do. Yes. So that's one thing with teenagers in that category, you know. They have this belief, and some of them tend to be bullies too. You know, we have quite a number of them in that category. So it takes time to help them build trust in you, love them, understand, and once they have gotten to that level where they can trust you enough, they become so gentle around you that you can actually tell them what to do and they will do it, you know. But the moment they realize that you have also joined them, you know, yeah, one of them actually used that word for me. Okay, auntie, you have also joined them. You you understand, you know. We were trying to have a conversation, and I said something, and it was like, oh, so auntie, you have also joined them. I was like, no, I've not joined what? This is what I'm trying to make you understand. You know, so that is it. They are very sensitive. They are very sensitive. But once they are at that level where they can trust you, where they know you understand, I tell you, all those things you want them to do, they will comply and they will do it, and you will get the best out of them.
Now, the influence of the social media on the youth is quite tremendous. Okay, youth now, there's hardly any young person who doesn't have a phone. Phone is not just phone, but phone you can browse, watch the videos and stuff, learn so much from. Okay, and most of them had got carried away, all right, had been negatively influenced by the teachings or stuff, knowledge they've got from the, okay, trying to shine with those who are shining and stuff without minding how they actually got there, whether it's positive or negative. What has been your experience like, and what words of advice do you have for the youth in general as regards this particular aspect?
Okay, the world is evolving and we are evolving with it. We don't have a choice. Technology has come and we have come to embrace it, both young and adults, you know. So I always make young people understand that this thing, social media, phone, technology and all that, they have everything in life has its negative and positive sides. So what makes you a wise person, no matter your age, is you being able to discern the positive and the negative and knowing which one to embrace. So our own responsibility as adults to these young people, whether you are a mentor or not, everybody should even be mentors to young people so we can groom them to be better adults. So our own responsibility is to make them understand which is positive, which is negative, and helping them to be able to make a better decision on which one to embrace. The phone is there, you can learn on it. You can use it to learn on the internet, you can use the internet to do so many positive things, but these and these are the negatives which you shouldn't explore.
And you
Now,
think
some of them
that's
actually
enough?
do. No, that's not enough.
Okay.
I'm still coming.
Okay,
So
all right.
some of them actually still do. You know, teenagers have this. Even though you tell them, if you don't tell them the reason why they shouldn't do something, they want to try it out so that they can experiment and see the reason behind it. That's one thing I've come to understand in them over with my experiences, and even with me as a very inquisitive child growing up.
And a very stubborn one.
So I know that teenagers they are very inquisitive. They want to know the reason why I shouldn't watch this, the reason why I shouldn't go to this site, the reason why I shouldn't explore this. So you need to now tell them the reason why they shouldn't. And the implications of it, you know, the reason. In fact, sometimes when I teach them, not even about social media and all that, then there was a time I was doing a seminar for the females among them on the dangers of teenage pregnancies, you know, and all that. And then I had to show them videos, I had to show them charts, I had to read stories, true stories of experiences. So it is not enough for me to just gather them and tell them, no, don't get pregnant at so age, don't engage in so thing. Why? You know, so come from the angle of this is the implication if you do it. So do you want to experience the implication? Make them see the implication and how bad it can be and how much it can affect them and their future. So they are wise. You know, we are in jet age where children are getting even smarter than the adults. So they are smart. So by the time you show them the implications of all these things, they are the ones to make the decision. In fact, by the time you ask them, they will be the ones telling you, no, I don't think this is a good idea for me. And I tell you, they have a lot of influence among themselves. They have a way of talking to themselves and being able to convince themselves among themselves to, okay, they will tell their friend, the friend will tell another friend, and the friend will tell another friend, and they will always be coming from that angle of that implication you have showed them and told them, you know. And then as young people, they have a way of putting pepper and maggi and salt in anything they've heard, you know, the way they'll put the story down and all that. Maybe you show them that, oh, this lady got pregnant, she had an abortion, and this is what happened to her. By the time she wants to narrate it to another friend, she will add her own to it. You know, when that friend wants to narrate it to another person, she will add her own. And then it keeps on like that, and that would help to start making that influence and impact among them. And you know, you'll be able to get them to change their mindsets concerning this. So that is one way that can help. But we all need to get involved as adults. You know, we all need to get involved. You know, the teenagers around us, whether they are your children or they are not your children, your neighbors, you know, church members or something, if we can all make a conscious effort to help these children, even if it's just a 5-minute pep talk, you know, just call them around. Oh, how are you? You know, get interested in their life, get interested in what they do, get interested in their areas of interest, you know, and then they will know that, oh, this person cares, and they will start trusting you gradually. You will be so surprised that one day the teenager will just call you one day and say, uncle, can I tell you something? Just by you showing interest over time, maybe you see him every day and then you just ask, he's seeing that you are interested, and he can,
and maybe
okay,
something he or she couldn't tell the parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one day they will just call you, can I see you? And then before you know what's happening, he or she is already bearing everything on his mind or a mind to you, and you'll be like, wow. And when they say some things, you get scared. Because you wonder that, so you mean this 15-year-old or 16-year-old can actually think like this, or can actually reason like this, or his experiences this? I mean, don't you judge them.
Okay, let's wrap up this discourse this week.
Okay.
You talked about how everybody needs to get involved
Yeah.
right now in teenage orientation. And one of the issues we have in Nigeria with parents is that parents don't discuss things like sexual orientation and sexual education with their children. How do you tackle issues that arise from teenagers as regards orientation, education, and things of that nature? In my initiative in MTI, there was a time we had to organize a program for parents too, because we realized that when we help these teenagers, sometimes when they go back home, you know, they get worse by the time they come back, because the parent has stalled the process, you know. So parents need to get involved. We need to carry the parents along in so many ways, because parents of 21st century nowadays. They are really not doing enough. Not all of them. A lot of them are trying, but some of them who are very busy are really not doing enough, you know. So we carry the parents along, and we always let the parents understand that at every stage there are things you need to call your children up and teach them, tell them. You know, some of our own parents made that mistake of, oh, we can't talk about sex around the child. Why? At every stage from age 2, when a child can comprehend and speak, you should start sex education. There are elementary ways you can talk about these things. You know, you keep advancing it as the child is growing, you know. And then parents are so scared to call these things by their names. I mean, the body parts. So when you don't tell them the way it is, there is no need to decorate things. Tell them the way it is so they can understand. If you don't tell them the way it is, they will go hear it outside and they will hear it the wrong way. So it is better you tell them the way it is at home, let them know what it is. So when they go outside and they hear the wrong thing, they will tell them outside that, oh, my mom already said this is it. That's it. So parents need to get involved. So we are begging parents to get involved. We want all adults to also get involved. This is one of the things that can help us build a better Nigeria, a better society. If the society is already what it is today, because of the kinds of adults we have, some of the kinds of adults we have today, their mindset, the corrupt mindset, the this, the that, and all that. So how can we salvage it for the future? We need to start from
the generation of today, you know, the young ones, by the time we start building the right mindset in the young ones of today, the future will be better because they will grow up to become better adults than us.
Interesting.
Why are you looking
Thought-
at me?
I mean, you seem to have learned a lot today.
Haven't you?
I have actually.
I
I
really
mean,
wonder.
I mean,
So for people out there who would want to get in touch with you, how do they go about it? Can we have your social media
Yes,
handle?
I am Royen Consult on Instagram, Royen_consult. Yes, and on Facebook, Mary Royen. Yeah, and on Twitter @mroyen. My email is maryroyen@gmail.com.
Okay.
So, and on LinkedIn, because I'm very active on LinkedIn too, Mary Ozuroyen Awolo. That's my full name. But if you type Royen or #Royen Speaks on Google, it will take you to my profile, wherever I am, because I always end all my posts with #Royen Speaks. So Royen Speaks always takes you to all my contact wherever.
Well, you've heard her. You know how to reach out to her if you need her help, if you need her speaking to your teenage ones back at home. It's been a splendid time with you on the show, Mary. Hopefully we'll have you
you.
again on the show.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's go on a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show with the remaining segments we have left for you.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiviv Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiviv family.
Welcome back. This is still iBrand Daybreak. If you're just joining us, I would say you've missed lots and lots of interesting things we've had on the show so far. But there's still one more segment you can catch up with, and that's social media buzz. Let's head straight to Facebook and see what's popping right there on Facebook. Yes, the one that's buzzing today is this one about Owames and food. Yes, this person, Ifeanyi Ezimenari, is asking, he's saying, forget maturity. Have you struggled? Have you ever struggled for food in an occasion? Michael, I guess I'll come back to you. Quite an interesting one. Well, let's see the replies to what Ifeanyi was asking. And this one is coming from Abigail Mangadi Wami, and she said, I have, and immediately it entered my hand. I fell back to character as if I was possessed. Okay, interesting. Ebuka SM is saying, I don't need to struggle. All I need to do is to give the server a strong, wicked look, and they will bring the food to my table, even if that food belongs to someone else. Ebuka, I don't think this really works. I've tried it many times at occasions. I don't think it really works. This one from Jemima Hannah says, food never crosses my mind when going for an occasion, but to rejoice with them. So I eat very well before leaving. Jemima sounds like my father. Let's go to Imalex Madwa Buchi Fabian. Imalex is saying that awkward moment when you're struggling for food at a Niger wedding and mistakenly disconnected the speaker wire with your leg. Now all eyes are on you. You will just realize that you have belly full under 2 seconds. Very funny one. And let me just round up with this one from Tolulope Michael. Tolulope Michael says, please, which occasion? I hope it's not the one hope not the one I went using T-Fair, but Ashwebi and assisted the celebrant. Michael, let me come to you. Have you ever gone for an event?
You don't ask me that question because I'm
putting you on the spotlight.
I can do that.
Okay.
But I want to paint some scenarios here. There was this occasion where I saw a woman. Those of us who were very observant were at a particular corner of the hall, and what this woman was doing was just collecting items. No item passed by her without her picking one and dumping. She came with an empty bag. She would collect from left, from right, dumping there. That's one aspect. Another aspect was during a funeral ceremony. You know, I saw this woman crying, shedding tears like there's no tomorrow. But once the food sharing started,
the crying ends.
Everything.
Wow.
Do you understand? You've not given me and all that. Then what about a couple of there are men out there. Some of them are bachelors. Some are even married. Okay, but they have this group. There is no weekend they don't have a list of social events where to have free food and free drink.
Wow, very funny one. One of the replies to that one just reminded me of my dad. My dad is the kind of person who will ask you eat very well, because my dad would ask all of us, it's time to leave, just even before they've started sharing food. So it
will help one behave well.
Yeah, and because of that, many times I go to events. Sometimes I don't even eat.
I think it's better that way.
Yeah. Well, it's been an interesting one on the show today. Unfortunately, this is where we would have to be calling it a wrap on the show today. Yes, time flies when you're having fun. I know. Time flies when you're having fun. But we'll be back tomorrow with another exciting episode. Yes, iBrand Daybreak will be coming to your screen tomorrow. But if you've missed today's show, there would be a repeat broadcast for you later in the day. You can catch up on all you've possibly missed so far. So good. This is where we'll call it a wrap, like I said, but we would not be going away without leaving you with a quote for the day. And this one is coming from Abraham Lincoln. That's this one, the quote for the day. He said, you can have anything you want if you want it badly enough. You can be anything you want to be. Do anything you set out to accomplish if you hold to that desire with singleness of purpose. That's what Abraham Lincoln is saying. Strong words right there from man Abraham Lincoln. My name is Jidechi Chides, and I would say it's been a splendid time with you so far.
If you're an entertainment freak, tomorrow is going to be entertainment full blast. Catch you then. Michael Nath here.